Hello, everyone. I think we are live. I had a little difficulty here getting on. I think we should be good. I apologize for the delay. Welcome to our webinar. I hope everybody was able to make it in here. Let's see who's on already. Oh, wonderful. We have everybody joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited to be here with you. My name is Stefani Carol, and I would absolutely love to know your name and where you're from. So if you could leave that over in the chat box, that would be wonderful. I am just going to check in and make sure everybody is here and good to go. Wonderful. This is going to be so fun. Thank you for joining us. Hello. Hello, Arwen. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. Just continue. Oh, hello, Lee from Birmingham. Nice to meet you. Gabby from California. Good to see you. Leticia from Florida. Nice to see you as well. Oh my gosh, thank you all for joining us. I just want to share a little bit about myself. My name is Stefani Carol, and I have been a makeup artist for about 15 years. And I just love what I do, and I'm just so excited to be here. I've really come a long way. I am now an educator, and I love to teach makeup. My story kind of started at a young age. When I was a little girl, I was actually playing with my sister's hair and makeup, and I loved that total transformation. And I just fell in love with doing that and doing that makeup and just seeing the look on their faces. So I'm so excited that you are joining us. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Oh, good, everybody's logging in. But yeah, so when I started as a young child, just kind of playing and doing hair and makeup, I was doing that instead of playing with little baby dolls. So that was my thing since I was a little girl, and I turned it into a career. I never thought that it could be a full-time career. I actually started off going to cosmetology school and became the #1 student in my class, and absolutely loved learning about hair and makeup and all things beauty. And then I was able to even go further, and once I graduated, they hired me for the school. So I was able to work for the cosmetology school and enroll students and really just be a part of that whole season of their lives as they were becoming cosmetologists. And as I was doing that, I fell in love even more with makeup, and I needed more education because I could not get enough. So I went to Vegas. I don't know if we have anybody here from Vegas or that side of the country. And I actually, I was able to go through some programs and learn how to do airbrush makeup, eyelashes, brow threading, body painting, what else? HD makeup for camera. And I've been doing makeup for photo shoots and weddings. And when I came back to my hometown, I'm from Ohio. If anybody's here from Ohio, hello. And I was able to turn that into a career, and it was just amazing. I absolutely really just dove into it, and I found ways to really build my brand and build my business, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of that with you. So I am just so excited that you're here, and if I had this 10, 12, 14 years ago, I would have been on here every day because I think this is awesome. I didn't have that education in my hometown, and so now I'm sharing that to you. So I don't know if you have that there where you're from, but this is awesome that you have joined us. So thank you so much, everyone. I'm just looking to see who's joined us. Oh, we have people from Spain. Ruth is from Houston, Texas. Hello, Ruth. Emily from Long Island, New York. Ruthie from Pennsylvania. Patty from New Jersey. Hello. Pernita from North Carolina. Wonderful. Yvonne from Ireland. Thank you for joining us. Beautiful. It's so great to have you all here. Let's see. Oh, we have Yessie from Atlanta. Thank you for joining us. Anna from Poland. Mewish from Connecticut. Wonderful. Indianapolis, I'm close to you, Darlene. I'm not too far. I'm about 3 hours from you. So good to see you. Oh, wonderful. Thank you all for joining us. Continue to put your name, if you have not, put your name right in the list there, and let us know where you're from. And I'd also like to know if any of you are professional makeup artists, if you are already working in the industry. So just say, hi, I'm a professional as well, because I would love to just know, or maybe you're just starting and this is new for you. I would just love to kind of see where everybody is at. Thank you so much for joining us. I already have some amazing questions. I've received some just recently here, so I'm so excited for that. Beautiful. Hello, Cecilia. So nice to see you from California. Wonderful. I'm going to be doing a webinar next week. I'm going to actually be in California, so that's going to be fun. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. And I know, oh, awesome. Some people are new. Oh, good. We have some newbies. I love newbies. I was a newbie for a very long time because there was not a lot of education in my hometown. We just really had cosmetology schools. And I don't know if the schools in your area teach you everything, but my school taught me the basics of everything, but not a lot about makeup. And I was kind of disappointed because I fell in love with makeup. So this is just such a great blessing to be here and to share with you all just all my knowledge from my experiences and my struggles, because I had nowhere to turn. I kind of had to learn a lot by myself. It was like sink or swim for me, and I discovered so much becoming an entrepreneur, and now I'm a business owner. I have a makeup academy. I have a team of artists. So I've come a long way, but it was a lot of work and a lot of hard work. So I would love to share some of my stories with you. Oh, good. We have some more newbies. Hi, Beverly from Oregon. Good to see you. Wonderful. Oh, it looks like a lot of newbies here. Great, great. So you are in the right place. That's wonderful. I'm just going to wait for a couple more. Pranita said, oh, good. She's seeking to get into the industry. Wonderful. It's not as hard as you think. We are going to give you some awesome tools to get you started. And I'm going to share some insight for you all as well. And I want to answer all the questions that you have. So if you have some questions, go ahead and start typing them and adding them into the chat box. And as you are doing that, I'm also going to post a poll here. I am just so excited to be here with Trendimi. I don't know if you know much about what we're doing here, but we have a premium course for advanced makeup artistry, and this is going to be the most exciting course. We're so excited to have everybody joining us for it. We have a couple free webinars coming up, and then our course is going to begin, and I'm going to take us step by step into really learning how to become a makeup artist, how to build your brand. We're going to talk about what you need in your kit, how to market yourself, how to really get good clients. So we have so many great things we're going to teach you. So if you're not already connected, please connect with us today, because we have some great things coming up here for you. All right, let me just get a few things up here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post a poll for everybody to look at real quick. Keep your questions coming, but I want you all to look at this poll. We have a couple topics for our free webinars. We have a few topics to choose from. We have about 5. And we want to know what your favorite topic would be. So it would, I'm just gonna click it right here. Yep, I just posted it. So if you could go over to the poll and hit vote on whatever question you would like to know the most about, whatever one really comes and stands out to you. We have anything from turning your passion into profits, or pricing strategies, how to get raving customers to bring you business, what you need to have in your kit, things like that. So check out the poll, click on your favorites, and I want to see what you guys want to know more about. Beautiful. We have great questions coming in here. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for voting. I'm going to just keep that poll up for just a little bit here so that we can continue. Let's see. Oh, I have so many great questions. I think we received a couple questions even yesterday, so this is wonderful. I am going to pull them up right here. Okay. Can everybody hear me? Everybody ready to go? I'm just going to go right into the questions if that's okay. Thank you all for joining us. All right, so Galeen Gordon, are you here, Galeen? If you are, leave a little note in the chat box. I'd love to see if you're here. Wonderful. Thank you for your feedback, everybody. And, or how about Robin Adams? Are you here? I have a question from her. Lee, oh, thank you. You are here and you have a question for me as well. And May Wish, I think you are here as well. Yep. And we have a couple questions from you as well. So I'm going to answer these that I already have. And if you want to continue to add questions over in the chat box, that would be amazing so that I can continue to answer any other questions that we have not received yet. And the first question that we have today is how and where to get started to help building a portfolio. How can I start a portfolio? So we do have some trainings coming up, free trainings in our webinar, where I'm going to kind of expand upon that. And we're going to talk more about that. But I can give you a little hint here right now. This question came from May Wish, so thank you for that question. The first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you have at least a good camera, or if you have a photographer that you could connect with. The best thing to do would be to really find a photographer, because then you can just focus on your artistry and then they can capture that. You do want to grab a good photographer that would be somewhat decent, and you've checked into their work and made sure that their photography is nice and clear and it's not overly photoshopped so that it doesn't take away from your beautiful artistry. Sometimes that they can get a little carried away and their skin looks plastic. So find a good photographer locally. Sometimes they really like to network. I've networked with so many photographers in my life, and I really find that sometimes you have to just do things for free and do like a trade service. And that's how I started off in the beginning. I was taking photos myself. I went and invested in a camera. But if you wanted to also connect with a photographer, find somebody who might need somebody for a shoot, or maybe you can just say, hey, I'd love to connect with you and really make a fun shoot that would be showing off your work and showing off my work. And they would love that. And just keep asking until you find somebody that you've connected with, and that really helps build your portfolio. They'll give you the photos. You can post them on your social media, on your website, and things like that. Let's see, what else do we have here? But I'll be covering more of the topic with the portfolio in the next upcoming webinars. And so just stay tuned for that. We're going to go into detail on that. Another question, do we need to have insurance if I start my freelance career? I always say it's best to have insurance. I've had insurance for a while. I would highly recommend that. It is an artistry, so depending on where you're from and where you're at, it's always safe to have that, because you never know what could happen. Say, for example, you're doing somebody's makeup and they get an allergic reaction to the mascara or the eye color or whatever you put on them, and they blame it on you. I mean, I would hope this would never happen, but you just never know. And so it's good to be safe. It's always good to have insurance. And there's many different insurance companies out there that you can look for to find a program that works for you. And then another question is, what is required? What are the required steps in the USA before I can start making business cards, flyers, and literature to promote my makeup artistry business? Well, the required steps are super easy. There's nothing that's required for you. Once you want to start making, if you're a freelancer and you're an artist, you can get right to making a business card. I think everybody should have a business card and always keep them with you in your purse or just wherever you go. Make sure that you have them in your car because it's always good to share that when you're meeting somebody. You never know. You're a walking business, so you never know, and you are your own marketing team as well. So getting those business cards and flyers made, you can do, there's lots of websites, Vistaprint, different things like that in the US that promote, or even find a local graphic designer that can help you create something. All you really need is your name, your website if you have it. If you don't have a website, put your social media on there so people can go see your work and know who you are. And then a contact information, so a phone number or an email. I always like both because some people are very busy and we live in a very fast society where people want to just write an email and get a response really fast. So I say always have a card, always have a flyer, and get them out to everybody that you know. That's a great thing. Let's see, what else can we do here? Oh, another question from Maywish. Thank you for all of these questions. I hope you are still here with us listening. Which are your favorite websites and links to look for inspiration and to increase or start my business? For me, everything is inspiration for me. I really look at things that are really trending. I look at cosmetic lines and what they're doing, and a lot of lines kind of follow the same pattern. I also like to read beyond the artistry part of it. I like to read things from motivational speakers. So anything from, I read a great book from Jack Canfield, and it was Success Principles. And that was a wonderful book for me when I first started my business. It was just basic principles that you need to really become your own boss and be an entrepreneur. There are lots of things online that you can log in and sign up for that are super easy and free. I believe one of my favorites that I always get, even on Facebook, is the Entrepreneur magazine. And they even send them to you, and they share stories of other entrepreneurs who started their own business. And it might not even be in makeup artistry, but it really inspires you to know the business side and to really push you to continue to make your passion into a career. So entrepreneur magazines, entrepreneur websites, any kind of motivational speakers, those really inspire me. And of course, just looking at people inspire me. When I look at a person and I see their face and their beauty, that's what inspires me. And I create a look that they love and that they want. If I'm looking to really go out of the box and do high fashion, anything can inspire me, to an outfit, from a view out of my window. I mean, anything can inspire me. So just look for inspiration everywhere. So thank you for those questions, Maywish. Thank you so much. And let's go to Robin Adams. Are you here, Robin? Or Galeen Gordon, are you here? I don't think they're in the box yet. Let me see. I don't think I've seen them yet. So let's skip to the next one. I'm going to hold those off. Lee, I know you're here. Thank you so much for joining us. She asked a question, how would you do makeup for hooded eyes? I'm Oriental ethnicity and I do not have a crease to apply different shades of eyeshadow. So I love doing eyes, because eyes are the windows to your soul. And when you really make your eyes pop, it brings out, nobody has the same color eye, nobody has the same shape eye, and I just think it's just so beautiful to bring out eyes on a person. And then I continue, that's actually the first thing I do when I do a full face makeup application. So for hooded eyes, you want to continue to create a crease higher than, it's almost like you would create like a false crease. Some people call it cut crease. There are so many YouTube videos. If you just type in cut crease, how to do a cut crease eyeshadow, that will definitely pop up a lot of little videos that you can look at. You're basically going to create a little false crease and smoke it out so that it kind of enlarges the eye and just makes more of an open look. You can also wear lashes. Lashes are my favorite thing in the world. I love lashes. If you have a hooded eye, lashes will immediately open the eye and just give a more opened, awake look and just kind of look more lifted. So try those, try the cut crease, try the different false creases and kind of adding a little smoke a little higher, and then do a little bit of lash, play with some lashes and see how that works. If you're bringing up in the middle with the lashes, it's gonna really give you more of an open look. So you try that at home. And I think that is what I have so far. Those are the questions I had ahead of time. Darlene, are you here, Darlene? I think Darlene already checked in with us earlier. Yes, Darlene, it looks like Darlene sent us a question. I really need hints on applying makeup to older women, crow's feet and wrinkles in particular. Thanks, Darlene. Thank you so much for that question. That is a great question. The biggest hint that I give all of my students and tell everyone, I would say the biggest hint would be to really press and stipple Once you stipple and press, you're not going to drag that skin, because more mature skin can kind of get, it can move around more easier. So if you are pressing and stippling where you see that, where you want to put that color, just remember to take that fluffy brush, and instead of swiping like we would normally do, you want to just press. And that's going to create more of a look, and they always love to stay away from shimmer. So try to stick with more matte colors and really smoke out that lash line. Whenever you smoke out a lash line and smudge that and make that softer, no harsh lines, they love that look. And it's very complimentary. It's complimentary on anyone, but once you have somebody with more mature skin, you really have to be careful on not accentuating any areas that they wouldn't want accentuated. So I would try that. I would smoke out the lash line, stay away from shimmers, and press and stipple. And we're going to talk about all of that in our upcoming course, and you'll see me doing some work hands-on as well. So you'll get a little bit of that. So yes. All right. So yeah, I mean, I've been doing makeup since I was a young girl, and I truly just, out of all my experience, I've done all ages, all ethnicities, and I truly, truly love seeing different skin types, even a good challenge. I mean, whether somebody has any skin problems, I've learned how to do makeup on anybody with hyperpigmentation, rosacea, acne. So there's all kinds of techniques that you can learn over the years. And honestly, it's been my experience. I've also worked with Chanel Cosmetics, and I am an artist for Chanel. I'm also an artist for Anastasia Beverly Hills. I don't know if you've heard of that line yet, but it is huge here in the US. It's going all over social media. And I'm also an artist for NARS. So if any of you use any of those products out there, it's just, they're great luxury products, some of my favorites. And I travel and I do events with them, and I go to different stores and locations and cosmetic departments as their featured artist. Oh yes, people have heard of Anastasia, that's great. So yeah, so I was recruited just to be an artist here in the region, and I travel for them, and I absolutely love it because I get to see so many new people and new faces. They've trained me in different ways as well, so that has added to my education, because every line does something differently, which is really interesting. So that's always really fun. And now I truly love, I do tons of weddings. So I work on lots of different skin types for weddings, and mostly makeup for HD. So high definition makeup for cameras to make sure that people look flawless even when the flash hits them. Because sometimes, I don't know if you've seen celebrities out there where they're on the red carpet and somebody used the wrong powder, and the flash just creates that look where they look powdery or ashy. So there's a lot that goes into HD makeup, and I've mastered that as well. And so we're going to talk about all of these great things, but I truly love what I do, and I truly love being able to give back to students and show you what I've learned, because I didn't have that throughout all of these years. I kind of had to discover that on my own. And if I would have had something like this years ago, I would have been on top of the world. But I'm so excited. I just cannot wait. I think we have a couple more questions coming in here. Oh, yay, Galeen is here. Thank you. I'm going to answer her question. She has a really good question, and I actually talk about this quite often with a lot of my artist friends. She asked, do you feel that brands that offer custom blending for foundations, such as Face Atelier, are a wise choice for makeup artists who have to handle multiple complexions at once? Or would it be better to just stick with a brand that offers an assortment of various tones? So, great question, Galeen. Thank you for that. So what I would say about that, it depends on where you're truly working. So if you're working on maybe a set of a photo shoot, or you're working on a set of a wedding, and you're wanting to do 12 bridesmaids or a bride, and you only have a couple hours to do them, I probably wouldn't recommend the custom blend line for that. Now, if you worked with the bride ahead of time and you wanted to create a custom blend for her and say, I have this special product just for you, nobody else has this color, it's made just for you, and I created it with this brand, then that would be wonderful. That would be beautiful. However, for me personally, I've even played around with different custom blending lines. For example, Motives Cosmetics. I don't know if you've heard of Motives. I've played around with their products as well. It's another mineral-based custom blending line, and I absolutely love it. It's a great concept because even when I do have a whole tray of foundations, I'm always still custom blending on the back of my hand or on my palette to create that look for whoever I'm with. So I'm never using just one color straight out of the bottle because I just personally like to make that a little more custom, and not everybody matches exactly what's in the bottle. Sometimes there's more red undertones, more blue undertones, etc. So I would say if you do want to do custom blending, I think that would be beautiful to do for if you have a studio or if you have a regular client base coming in, that you could kind of start that in your area. But realistically, when you're on the set for something, for a photo shoot or a wedding or something like that, you're probably going to need something a little bit faster, something that a palette that you can just pull out and whip up really fast, because time is money and sometimes you're in a hurry to get things done with their schedule. So you don't have the time to mix, and you might not want to bring all of that with you in your kit. So I hope that answered your question. It's beautiful, it's great, but if you're a traveling artist and you're doing those events and things like that, you might want to have more of a set palette or a system of foundations, and you can custom blend right there for them, but not give them the actual bottle. And then, let's see. So thank you for that question, Galeen. Thank you so much. Let's see, we have some other questions here. I'm just going to get caught up. Oh, we have great questions. Thank you, Galeen. Thank you. And continue, if you guys haven't added a question yet, please add one. I'd love to hear anything that you're thinking about. You can ask me anything. I'm an open book for you all today. Oh, here's a great one. Let's see. All right, Emily. Emily says, I'm a college student and I'd love to start my own freelance business and YouTube channel. That's amazing. That's amazing, Emily. You can totally do that. Continue to do that. Stay in college, get your degrees, and you can continue to do this on the side and work that as you are learning. So definitely continue that freelance business. Get connected with people in your area. Find some friends in the cosmetic departments. That's always great to do. When you go and purchase your makeup, really get to know people there. I have so many friends in so many different areas, and because I know just about everybody in my area, just because when I'm shopping, I want to get to know who I'm working with. And when I work at different counters, I love to connect, and networking is everything in this industry. So that face-to-face connection is everything. And YouTube is so hot, so always, yeah, continue to put yourself out there on YouTube and create those videos. That'd be fun. I'd love to see them. Nicole says, I have a daughter in dance and they need to look glamorous on stage. I'm scared of making her look overdone. Help. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you so much for that question. I know everybody probably has seen those fun shows where they have the dance crews, and you can just see the makeup is dramatic and beautiful, but it's a little scary up close and personal, and it's hard to put that on your little daughter because you don't want her to look too old. So I totally get that. So I would recommend keeping it very soft, keeping it really pretty. You don't want her to look washed out while she's on stage, but you also, of course, don't want her to look too extreme. So I would recommend a little color on her cheeks. Maybe just smudge her lash line so it's not a harsh line and it's nothing too scary and too intense. And then maybe add a little bit of a rose pink lip, or add some bright colors for her lips so she can have fun with that, but then it's not too much. I would definitely recommend that. And I don't know how old your daughter is, so I mean, obviously based on age, you don't want to go too much, but I would highly recommend that. Sometimes they love glitter, sometimes a little shimmer, because it just reflects the light and it looks so pretty when they're on stage dancing. So sometimes a little sparkle on the eye, a little bit on the cheeks with their blush looks gorgeous. So it'll still keep them kind of young looking, but not too extreme. Okay, great question, Nicole. Thank you for that. And then we're gonna go into Ruthie has a question. Do you have any favorite drugstore makeup for what we can't afford in the high end, like foundation? I have heard of, thank you for that question, Ruthie. I've heard of a few products that I like. I really did play around with the foundation sticks. So any foundation stick from any of the lines, honestly, any drugstore, those are fun to use because you can buff those in with a wet sponge, with a beauty blender, and truly get a nice complexion, but it doesn't feel too shiny or slippery. Maybelline has some great concealers. One of my favorite drugstore concealers is Maybelline's concealer. I'll have to look up the name for you. I just know what it looks like and I always grab it every time I'm at the grocery store. So it's a stick and has a little wand. It's very similar to the Chanel and the NARS. And it's just a great concealer. It lasts all day. It doesn't move on you. So I do have a few. The one thing I do like to invest when it comes to foundation is I do try to go a little more high end just because that's your skin. And I'm very big on that complexion, especially being an esthetician. And then you can splurge on eye stuff and mascaras and eyeshadows from anywhere. But I do like to try to invest a little bit in foundations just because that's your skin. But there are some great ones out there. Just play around with them, and there's always reviews and blogs and stuff too that a lot of people do like to find the dupes for the luxury products. So those are always fun. We can always share those down the road. I can share those links with you. But thank you for that question. And then Maywish. Oh, I have another question from Maywish. She said, foundation for many skin colors. If you are starting out, which brand of colors do you want to start with? Yeah, that's another thing. If you have a lot of different skin colors and you have a wide range of clientele with different skin tones, you want to have a good palette that's going to provide almost like a rainbow of color for you. So you can even do color corrections, you can highlight, you can contour. So a palette like that, for example, there are some lower end lines out there like BH Cosmetics that has a big, huge palette with big wells for foundations. Then there's also some very popular ones that most of us pros use called RCMA. They have a great, it's made for movies and for theater and things like that, but they have a great palette and a lot of YouTubers love it when they're on set and they don't know who they're gonna have. They don't know what the person's skin color is gonna be. So you do kind of have to have a good variety. So I would recommend one of those. So a good palette that has a multiple little pots of different colors would be great to keep so that you can just have that in your kit and you don't have to worry about, oh no, I don't have the right color for her. But always remember that color is color. So you can mix anything you want. You can mix things up. If it's too light, you can add a little bit of the dark color and mix it up. If you don't have every color and you just have a few, remember that you can mix things and change those shades for your client too. So don't be afraid to be a little scientist and mix things up. That's always a great tip that I can give you. I do that with everybody. Even if I have every color, I'm still mixing. Even lipsticks, everything. Sharon gave me a great question. What advice can you give us about covering deep pores on the nose? That's super normal. Everybody has pores on their nose and everybody has to cover them because clearly we don't want them to be too visible. The best advice would be to start off with a primer. Put that primer all over. What a primer is going to do is it's going to kind of speckle, just like you would put a primer on a wall before you paint. You want to speckle that wall and make sure that it's nice and smooth before you put any paint on top of it. That's what a primer does. It's also going to bring out that true color in your foundation so that your skin color doesn't shine through as much. And then it's also going to really smooth that out and make your foundation last longer. So I would highly recommend a nice primer to go around that area, your whole face, honestly. But if you have any deep pores, a good primer always works well. And then add that foundation on top and stipple when you go to put that on. And then once you set that with powder, it will look a lot smoother and more even. I hope that makes sense. We'll talk about more of my techniques and things like that coming up here. So thank you for that question. Thank you so much. Oh, Gabby, this is a great question. How can I apply makeup without looking like a clown? Well, that is a very good question. Please stay in our course because I'm going to go over all of my techniques that are going to show you how to create a natural look, a dramatic look, all of the all of the different looks. Please, I know everybody has seen somebody that did their makeup kind of off or wrong, so I'm sure everyone's afraid of too much makeup or looking like a clown or looking too extreme. And honestly, I would look in the mirror from far away and then come closer and truly realize what your favorite features are and bring out those favorite features. Don't go crazy with a lot of color. Stay in the more neutral zone if you don't want to look too extreme and too done up or like a clown. Stay away from red lipstick. Just go with the more of a nude, kind of neutral color and just kind of accentuate your natural skin tone, your natural colors in your face. And when you go to do your eye makeup, just maybe stick with just one soft color, a nice beige or a shimmer color just to kind of go over the shadow. That way you don't feel like it's too done up and you don't feel like you look like a clown. But if you become a professional and you learn a little more about how to do makeup, you'll know exactly how to do these techniques. So stay with us. Thank you so much for that, Gabby. Awesome. Oh, thank you, Nicole, for your answers here. And thank you, Emily. Oh, Maybelline Fit Me. That's a good drugstore foundation. I heard great things about that. Thank you for that, Emily. Great one. If anybody has any other favorite drugstores, you can drugstore foundations, you can put those on there as well, just to help everybody out to choose that. And let's see here. Do you like those new toothbrush makeup brushes? Have you used them? Marian asked. You know what? I have. I was just playing with them about a month ago. I think they're called the Artiste brushes, or I think there's different brands out there, and they kind of look like a little toothbrush. And that's exactly how I described them when they came out on the shelves. I'm like, oh, these look like toothbrushes for your face. And there's big ones and there's little ones for eyeliner. I have played with them on myself and on my clients. And to be totally honest with you, they're not my favorite thing, and maybe that's just because I need to work a little more with them. But my personal technique and how I like to do makeup for photography and for long-lasting effects for my clients, because most of my clients like their makeup to last all day and all night almost. I really do more of a pressing and a different type of technique that you cannot do with those toothbrushes. So with toothbrush brushes. So those kind of brushes are a little bit more difficult. They look beautiful. They do create a smooth look. I've seen people ranting and raving about them and they love them. But for me personally, for what I do, I'm old school. I stick with the regular brushes, and I have all different sizes. And if it's not broke, I'm not going to fix it. So I just love it. I love what I use, and I love the techniques that I use. And I cannot do that with the way that the handle goes on the toothbrush brushes, if that makes sense. So thank you for that question. Wonderful question. Great. Pranita says, how do you like the new circular shaped makeup brushes? Do you recommend using them over traditional brushes? I'm assuming when you say the circular shaped brushes that we're talking about the same thing that Marian just asked. So let me know if that is what we're talking about. The circular shaped brushes, I have some that are just round and flat, and I do like using those for foundations. But when it comes to however the handle is, I'm very particular about the handle being at the end, like the brush is here and then the handle comes down. So if that makes sense, as long as it does that, I'm happy with it and I'll use it. Thank you for that question. Okay, Darlene, how do you feel about representing a certain brand, direct sales brand? I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. If you have a brand that you love, dive into it and see if they could use you as an artist, because it's wonderful. They'll give you training. They will they'll provide a platform for you that you probably don't have yet. So direct sales is great. I think it does get sticky when people start to do the multi-level marketing makeup. It can get a little bit crazy because some people take away from the artistry and then they go into more of a salesy approach. So as long as you keep that passion and that that drive of being an artist behind your sales, and you're just providing a client with what they need and not just trying to make a sale, then I think it's great. I think it's great. There's a fine line because some people are great at sales and they're a product person. They love product, and there's nothing wrong with that. If we didn't have that, we would have no makeup to use, right? So we need those people. But you definitely want to make sure that you have a passion for artistry if that's where you want to go. And you can always melt the two together. And like what I do, and I travel with Chanel, and I travel with NARS, and I travel with Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I work with them, and I sell the makeup because I'm using it and the clients fall in love with it, but not because I'm trying to just make a sale. Does that make sense? All right, thank you. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Oh, thank you. I literally threw my hair together really fast. Ruthie said my hair looks amazing. Thank you. I had black hair and we're transitioning into a lighter color. So I hope you guys like it. And I'm changing makeup with that too, because you have to change everything. Your brows, if you change your hair color, everything changes. So thank you for that. Awesome. Oh, Darlene, this is a great question. Thank you so much. I have a client, Darlene says, I have a client that sweats really bad. Any suggestions? Okay, so this is huge, everybody, because I don't know what the weather is like where you're from. I've seen people from multiple places here, and I am currently in Ohio. So Ohio the weather is weird here. It's super cold, and then it gets really hot, and you just never know what it's going to be. It's going to be sunny, it's going to be rainy, all in one day. It's crazy. So I don't know where you are, but if you have a client, especially if you have a client that is very sweaty and perspires a lot, you want to make sure that you're using products that are mattifying. You want to make sure that maybe you even have some skincare in your kit, so something that's going to mattify the skin before you go and put makeup on. That's really, really big, because if they're shiny, their skin is going to just reflect light. And if they're anywhere, if they need their makeup done for an special occasion, which most people do, whenever they take a selfie or whenever they're in front of a camera, that's going to reflect that light, and it's going to look a little too harsh. And then it'll just take away from their beauty. So if you have somebody that is pretty warm all the time, or just has an oily shine to their natural skin, stick with light mattifying foundations and powder, and try to make sure that you matte their face before you go into doing any makeup. That's a great question. Waterproof is everything. Use waterproof on their eyes, waterproof mascara, waterproof eyeliner, because if they're oily, their lashes are going to hit their skin and create dots all around their eye. If they are really oily, their eyebrows might move around. So anything waterproof is your best friend if you have oily skin. So it's really my best friend, period. When I use products for my brides and for anything that's I need to be long lasting, it's always waterproof, everything. So good question. Thank you for that. Oh, My Wish has a great question. How do you set prices for your makeup services? Great question. Number one, you want to make sure that it's tricky, because we actually might be talking about that. I'm going to get back to my poll and see what our winner was, but that was one of the topics, because pricing is pretty tricky. If you are overpricing, you might not gain a lot of clients, and if you're underpricing, you might not ever be able to hit that glass ceiling and get through to the next level and really build your business. So the true thing is you have to find your value. You have to know, obviously, if you've gone through a course like Trendimi Premium and you've gone through an advanced course, you have a certification. You'll receive that at the end after you've gone through everything, and that can add more value to your business. Any kind of education will add value. So if you have worked for years and, or maybe if you're new, it doesn't really matter. As long as you know that you have that skill to start charging and you feel confident with that, do some research in your local area. That's the number one thing. You want to find who is in your area, who is charging, what they're charging. Call them up and just ask them to do your makeup one day and see how much they charge, and let them do your makeup and experience that, so you can know what to charge for your business. And then go somewhere around that depending on your level of expertise, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to you, because I had to change my prices as I grew. Of course, my prices aren't the same as they were 15 years ago, or 10 years ago, or even 2 years ago. My prices have changed. So always look at the market around you, and then look at your true value of what you've invested into your company and your business and your brand, and how your skills are compared to everybody else. And always ask an expert. Always, you know, feel free to ask us. Feel free to ask a local person who's already doing makeup that might be one of your friends, or go to a cosmetic department and ask, what is the going rate around here for makeup artistry? And of course, if you add different things, for example, lashes, or if you want to add airbrush makeup on top, those are always an upcharge too. So that's kind of how you can add your prices and price all of your services. So great question, thank you. Beverly, how do you feel about Bare Minerals powder foundation? I feel like Bare Minerals is great for the person who wants to look completely natural. The only thing is, for me personally, and this is just me personally, I always like to use more coverage and then set with a powder. So I always like a cream for that beautiful soft finish, and then a powder to set it so that it lasts all day. For my clients as well, I never just use powder unless they're a smaller child or a teenager for a wedding or something like that, or a photo shoot, and I just need a little bit of powder because their skin is beautiful. But I tend to always use a cream or some kind of sheer foundation, even if they want to look natural, and then I put some kind of powder to set it. So if I was to use Bare Minerals powder, it would just be to set. The great thing about Bare Minerals is you can mix and match. So if you want to create your own eyeshadow, sometimes I would, when I used it, I would kind of like mix a little bit of eyeshadow together and create a new color. So it's fun for that. But for me personally, for a long wear and for my clients that need long wear makeup, I don't normally use Bare Minerals. But that's just how, that's me personally, that's how I feel about it. So thank you for that question. Okay, let's see. Oh good, we're getting some other brands. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback, everybody. I love getting feedback. I love that. Emily said, what is your favorite brand of makeup brushes overall? Woo, that's a hard question. It's hard to pick a favorite when you, it's like candy. It's like being in a candy store and you have to try to choose what one you're gonna love forever. I truly love Chanel brushes. Those are great, they last forever. Trish McEvoy brushes last forever. I love Morphe brushes. Those are great, great price points as well. Those are online, you can find them online. So I do love a good set of brushes, but I'm always open. Brushes are like my favorite thing ever. You can always add and continue to use them and try new ones. Anastasia Beverly Hills has some great brushes. They don't have a full kit, but they do have some great ones that I use for eyeshadow and for highlighting and things like that. So I do kind of have a couple favorites. And I'm gonna go ahead and open up the poll here and see what our winner is. Oh, great. Okay, so it looks like our winner was the #1 topic, turning your passion into profits. 7 steps for becoming a professional and a successful makeup artist. Wonderful. So that is going to be, obviously, that's going to be one of our topics that we're going to cover. So thank you so much, everybody who voted. Thank you for that. I love it. Thank you, everyone. And let me just see, does anybody else have any more questions? I want to fill out, we'll go a couple minutes over since we had a little technical difficulty in the beginning there. If anyone has any more questions, I would love to answer them. Just type them right in the little chat box. Great, thank you. Awesome. All right. I think I have all of the questions answered so far. I'm just checking, double checking. Great. Okay. Oh, awesome. Marianne asked, what do you prefer in blending shadow on lids? What technique? How to blend shadow? That's a wonderful question. That's going to definitely be covered in our program because I want to show you hands-on every step that I do. And when I do an eye look, I want to show you how I blend that out, because there's nothing worse than an unblended eye where it's just chalky and chunky and it's just splotchy. It just takes away from their beautiful eye shape and color. So I like a very, very blended eye look. My favorite thing to do, obviously you want to start with an eye base. Then you want to start with at least 3 to 4 colors. A base color, 2 blending colors, and then a dramatic color to kind of smoke the lash line. If you're going to go for a full eye look, obviously you don't have to use that many, but to blend, you want to have at least a couple colors to blend that are close in the color family. So if you're going to do neutrals or purples, do different shades of them so that you can kind of blend that out. So always add, and then fluffy brushes. Tools are everything. You don't want to use little tiny brushes. Fluffy brushes will always help you blend that and keep that smooth. Okay, thank you for that, Marianne. Patty, who do you recommend for creating your own website and training for more classes to keep up with the trends? Let me see. Who do you recommend? I'm sorry, let's just jump down. Yes. Okay, great. Okay, who do you recommend for creating your own website and training for more in-person classes to keep up with the trends? So I would recommend, I don't know, Patty, tell me where you're from. I would love to see where you're from so that I can know how to recommend the correct place for you. I would recommend, obviously, any online classes that you can get are great. We're going to be in an awesome course, so you want to join us with that. I'm going to share everything with a great thing. Oh, you're from New Jersey. Awesome. I would recommend, they always have, if you need something in person, they always have expertise like from different cosmetic departments that you could go to if you need something quick and fast. And it never hurts to ask somebody, hey, how do you use this product? Can you show me? And then they'll show you on their eye, on your eye. You can work with them. And then you're learning a little bit about the product, and you're learning a technique that they already know. So find somebody that's further along in the business than you. And then also definitely look online as far as creating a website. There's so many great websites to create your own, where you can actually make your own kind of profile. You make your own menu. You can put your portfolio on there. You can always find a graphic artist if you don't have the time for that, or if you don't have the capability to do that and create that. So finding somebody to do that is always wonderful. Wonderful. I hope that answered your question. And then any tips? Last question tonight. Pernita asks, any tips for achieving the perfect cat eye look? Yes. So if you're going to create a cat eye, as far as a liner or shadow, you always want to make sure that you're even with your eyes. So you want to find the end of your eyebrow and the end of your eye, and you want to connect that. You don't want it to go down. You don't want it to go over. You want to connect that going up to the tip of your eyebrow. And we're going to talk about this in the videos coming up here in our webinars. So definitely stay tuned for that. But you can always use, a lot of people cheat and they use like a business card, and they'll just kind of stick something up to their eye, or they'll use just something. Sometimes people even use tape, like a safe tape for your skin. I personally just measure, and I just kind of watch as I go. I've never really used those things just because I want to create something that's kind of going to flow a little bit smoother. But if you're looking for a quick cat eye and you want to get that to be totally even, just add a little bit of tape or do a little bit of the credit card kind of thing, a business card, hold that up and just create that shape so you know you have a guide and you don't take it way out or too far down. And then always, like I said with the shadows earlier, find a couple different colors so you can blend together. So thank you. And we'll be talking more about that. So I'm just going to wrap things up here. Let me just make sure we have everything, all my questions answered. I don't want to take too much of your time. I want to thank you all so much for coming. I feel like this just went by so fast. I could spend all day with you all. So thank you so much for coming. I want to talk a little bit about, if you have any more questions, please, please, please still submit them. We will continue to answer those for you. You can submit them to premium@trendimi.com, and that's going to be where you can kind of at, if we didn't get to cover your question tonight, or maybe you just thought about it, definitely send an email to us. Thank you. Oh, thank you, everybody. I'm so grateful to be here with you all, and I cannot wait for our next webinar. We have an amazing, amazing discount. If you want to look up at the top here where there's going to be a little link for you, if you sign up, we are going to have a 20% off early bird discount to join the webinar program for advanced makeup artistry with me. So you get to be here with me. We're going to have a webinar twice a week. It's just a great program, and I'm going to go very in depth with all of my skills, and just tonight was just a little tip of the iceberg of what we're going to talk about, and you're going to feel so confident and ready to just start as a makeup artist once you finish with us. So I want to just make sure you know about that. It's going to be 20% off. So I think it's like a $60 saving. That's huge. That's awesome. So click the link up on the top there if you see it at the chat box. Just click that link if you want to sign up for that early bird discount. Only you all know about it. Everybody who's on my webinar right now, I'm telling you. So this is exciting. And we have a couple free webinars coming up in the next few weeks. So please join us back. Tell your friends, have them join us as well. Post anything on social media. We have an Instagram account. Check that out and tag us if you enjoyed tonight, and let us know how much you loved the program, and definitely let us know if you want to sign up. There will be some emails going out to let you know about all of the webinars. So please, please, please stay tuned for that. Check your emails every day, because we're going to let you know when you can see me again. And I look forward to seeing you all. I'm so happy you all joined me today. Thank you so much. And I would love to hear more about your experience. And if you have any questions, don't forget, premium@trendimi.com is where you can send any of your emails. So thank you all. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you again. Have a beautiful rest of your evening, and we'll chat with you soon. Thank you.